Boy, I sure am. First of all, thank you very much for the warm introduction. Hello to everyone hearing me for the very first time. Jack gives me way too much credit, but we are here for a wet, soggy evening's race here at Spa Francorchamps. A couple of them, in fact, considering the weather seems like it's going to hold. Just about finishing up qualifying, 2.5 minutes to go. Sam Graff holding strong out in front of 44.815, the mark to beat in the soaking wet conditions. Gonzalez, the closest thus far, 3/10 off of that. And I believe I just saw Robert Molman come into P3 just as we were doing our intro. Jack, it's tricky. The Porsche Cup car, a fantastic race car, but tricky conditions around one of the most technically difficult tracks on the schedule. I mean, it's fast, it's got technical sections. It really puts these Porsche Cup cars through their paces. Yeah, it's all about where the grip is and where it isn't because it's almost never where you left it in the dry. And of course, iRacing models that pretty well. And you have a situation too, like we're having here. We have about 18 or so cars on the track. Only 13 have taken representative time, but these two are kind of stuck together, and that will work in your favor down some of these straights, even in the wet conditions. Get a little bit of a tow that will help you out. See that happen in all forms of motorsport, including formula racing. That's still going to be a factor here, but now a little bit of space afforded. And had they not done that, what you would have is lower downforce on an already somewhat low downforce car. We all think of GT cars as having relatively high downforce, and while that is true for a GT3 car or a prototype, obviously for a Porsche Cup car, it has quite a bit more simplistic aerodynamics. Still sophisticated from a road car, but pretty simple in comparison to all the dive planes and canards that you would find on a GT3 car. So finding space ultimately important even on a racetrack like this, but that will do qualifying. Sam Graff held on to the pole. Oh my goodness. Was it still raining in Eau Rouge on the other side of the circuit? It stopped there, but it was for a second. Unless that's a trick of the camera. I saw the same thing, is why I pointed that out. When we went to the shot from Radion, I saw it was still raining, but by the time we went back to Blochemont, coming into the chicane where they're staged, it wasn't wet at all. It was quite dry indeed, and in fact, the road here looks, uh, decidedly soggy. Look at the bottom of Eau Rouge right there, living up to its name. But here you can see the wetness on the racetrack, but it definitely looks a little bit better. As you said, the sun is out, but never the mind. 13 cars. Oh my goodness. Look at Graf's car. Look at Graf's car there. That thing did hit, but they have continued. That's what surprised me is that they have continued. They haven't come down the pit lane. I assumed the car was fine, but you can clearly see there that the 733 is ailing, but somehow still managing mid-pack. They've gained spots in the Calamity. Mm, it's true. There's an anime on that car. There is an anime. I don't know what that is, but it is an anime. Oh, there we go. I got to sort this out, and they do. Very smartly so. Zanotti's had a crash. Zanotti is backwards right there in Eau Rouge, and that's a very strange place to come to rest. You would imagine that car lost at Eau Rouge and spun backwards halfway up Radion. Just an awkward side of the racetrack. That's the pit out for the GT pit lane. An awkward place to come to rest. Is that a Roxy liveried Porsche Cup car? You love to see it. The references here in this series. I mean, it's the right manufacturer, right? I would not, as somebody who's driven them, I would not say that at all. Oh man, and that's why I wouldn't call it a GT3 car right there. That car slid a country mile off of no name, and that's exactly to your point, to the point that we've been making about Sam, your pole and the 370 or the 737 rather. That car severely damaged in the front end. The rest of it looked straight, but as you were saying, simplistic arrow at the front. Not the end of the world. Will it be losing time and everything? Sure, a little bit, but it is not the end of the world. If the rear wing was gone, that'd be or the diffuser, that'd be a bigger problem. But the front nose cone off of that car isn't the biggest hindrance. You were very right in saying, coupled with the rain, even less of an issue. They've gained another spot this lap as we go through Blochemont, and everybody struggling for grip. I said it in qualifying, Jack. When you get behind another car, even with the simple arrow, the limited arrow that you have, if you get into the wash in these conditions in these cars, you're gonna start to wash out, and that's exactly what happened through Blochemont that time, and that helped Sam Graf get another position. They're side by side behind him, Dawson Lothan and Strout, trying to work it out in the chicane, giving each other due space, and I do dare say the 100 is going to get to keep that spot.
Yeah, it does look like it. Austin Lathan getting away with a little bit of a trip into the mud. Normally what would be gravel, but tonight's it's a bit muddy,
no!
But Graf's rounds in La Sauce is going to have to wait a bit before re-entering the circuit. Smartly, safely, rejoining in a safe and controlled manner, but that's a bit unfortunate for the pole sitter turned mid-pack battler and also turned alternate arrow scheme user. I said this circuit is a test of setups, though I don't think that's the right one. Cody May going for a bit of an alternate trip up Eau Rouge. He's going to have to give back that time. Of course, the nature of slowdowns in iRacing means that you're going to have to give up some time, maybe enough to the point where Ryan Eason in the purple car is looking to have a run into chicane, but they're keeping it too wide and giving each other enough space. In the dry, that would be impressive. In the wet, it's even more so. They're going to head down the run towards Ravage. They're weaving, diving, ducking, a bit like dodgeball. But it seems that Eason has the advantage here. Good on the brakes. Fortunately, these Cup cars do have traction control and ABS, and boy howdy, today on a day like today, Jesse, they are so happy about it.
Well, some early race cleanup, I think we have to do. We have to talk about it. Remember lap one, I commentated somebody went off in Lacombe, and I didn't know who it was. I have reason to believe that was now the 24 car of Rigo Campos, who has come down pit lane apparently. At some point, we documented Gonzalez coming down. Stefano Zanotti has towed their car back to the pit lane, so something happened to the 18 that drops them down to 17th place. Meanwhile, up front, Robert Moolman continues to lead 3/4 of a second. Wyatt Johnson tracking them down just a little bit as we join the fight at the front of the field. 3.5 seconds there about adrift. David De Leon in third place. Daniel Kent and Stam in fifth rounds out your top five. Behind them, Dawson Lathan and Strouch continue to fight brilliantly over that sixth place position, though now it has transitioned a little bit to the fight right behind him. Graf and Eason fighting over eighth. Probably not where either of those cars, Jack, thought they'd be fighting for a position this low down, but that is how it's turned out after the early back and forth.
I'm starting to wonder if the front aero situation being such, that car is catching a lot more drag because it didn't really look like it was going all that quickly coming out of Curve of Paul Frere, but could also have been a mistake there. There's probably some more damage, maybe a bit of steering damage, maybe a bit of sort of lazy suspension as well, but Grafe's not giving it up.
Close.
It's close. It's a little bit too close. A bit of contact between Eason and Grafe, but Grafe makes it round. But Eason, going a bit of the wrong direction and losing, I think that was the wing mirror that just flopped along the circuit.
I think it was. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was looking at Eason's car as they came through the chicane. You were mentioning the damage on Sam's car. There's damage on Ryan's front end of that car as well. Not quite to the effect. You can see it right there. The front of that Porsche crumpled up. Not quite as bad as it is on the 737, but still quite bad indeed on the front of there. And I wonder if maybe that had something to do with it, or maybe just gassed it up a little bit too much, took off towards the wall. Done that myself a few times.
Haven't we all? It's something that's just, you get a little bit ahead of yourself. You're in a fight. Your adrenaline's bumping, and everything.
We're still missing the racetrack. Look at this.
Oh,
the Brumos liveried Porsche. Oh, man.
Yep. And Roxy's going to come through, possibly get this position on the way down, but everything going wrong for a little bit of everyone. Nope, never mind. I was going to say Roxy's got this slam dunk, but missing the breaking point and struggling even more. The fight at the front, though, Moolman has really worn down. Well, actually, hold on. That's Wyatt Johnson. What happened to... We're missing somebody at the front.
Wyatt Johnson just made the pass. No, we're not missing somebody. Wyatt Johnson's just made the pass.
You're right. Correct. Sorry. I was confused. I was like, those cars should be swapped. Of course, the pass had just gone underway. They were getting really close, and I'm curious where he got that done because the second sector of Spa, not known for its overtaking opportunities, though. It's wet. These are Cup cars. Anything goes, but Wyatt Johnson making the jump up to the top spot for the moment. But 6 minutes to go. 6.5 minutes to go!
Man.
It's a huge moment in Blanchiment, and that's huge hit.
Man.
That's, I think, going to be race over for Moolman there. You can see the front left tire is completely out of shape. If we take a look at what befell them a little bit further, I've just remembered
was there a touch here, Jack? Or...
Oh, there was.
Oh, I think there was.
It looked like Moolman went into the back.
I didn't know. It's so easy to unsettle the car, and you try to catch it, and it corrects too much. And I didn't know if I saw a touch or if it was just that, but no, there absolutely was contact there.
Yeah, it seemed like that maybe Wyatt Johnson was taking it very, very stately into Blanchiment, making sure that they get the car through. It could have honestly been in the spray. Moolman couldn't see where that car was and sort of sent it in a bit too hard, as they say, and it went very, very wrong. So Moolman, he's towed to pit lane, ultimately probably going to work on repairs, probably going to come out and finish the race, which hats off to him. But at the moment, Their run for the lead is over. Ryan Eason coming back from some excitement, making the move this time on Devin Strauss in a race car that if I stare too hard at it, my eyes sort of start to go blurry. I don't know. Is that a tactic? I feel like a livery like that, it distracts other drivers more than yourself because, of course, you're not looking at it. I feel like it's one of those seeing eye poster things. If you stare at it
I was
long
just
enough.
going to say, if I stare at it too long, I can see the picture hidden in between there as well. These three cars going out of the 19, the 705, and the 16, all fighting over fifth place here. This is a good old scrap for that position. Meanwhile, up front, Wyatt Johnson continuing to lead, but that gap is considerably smaller than it was. David De Leon maybe planning a last-ditch effort here to track down the win here in race number one. You mentioned coming back out in this race. If this was like a normal race weekend where you just had one race, right, Jack, this would be it. This would be all you have. But if there is a silver lining to having a bad race one, you at least have race number two to come out and try and have a better finish, two bullets in the chamber, if you will.
Yeah, the beauty is the underpaid mechanics that are the virtual ones really, really good at their jobs. In fact, brilliantly so, to the point where every day you show up, no matter what you do to a car in practice, it'll be perfect for qualifying. It'll be perfect for the race. Yep. Everything is exceptional, and we've seen it once, we've seen it again. They're going to need to sort it out before Blanchimont because, lo and behold, they try to go, but Ryan Eason not backing down, looking very, very confident, and the way these cars are all sort of pitching into Blanchimont, they are absolutely nowhere close to top speed, but I'm kind of impressed they are dispatching the corner as quickly as they are. And Eason up to fifth now, making a really, really good run, making these 20 minutes count. 3 minutes to go, 2 laps remaining there or thereabouts, but it will be 2 minutes. Usually I think these cars in race trim do about a 2-minute 22. Today, not so. If let's have a look-see. If we open up the lap times, not exactly 2-minute 20s.
Yeah.
It's slower. The fastest lap, though, was set the last lap. I think that was Will Garwood that had just set that time. But
I think
measured drive.
Catching, of course, I think what's catching everybody out right now is the changeable conditions. We've got sun overhead. It's 21 degrees C, the road temperature anyway. It's just under 20 C on the ambient for the day as we get closer to the end of race number one here at Spa-Francorchamps in the Porsche Cup Series. But the sun is out and the track is improving. We can see that there are quite a few less standing puddles. Don't misunderstand. The racetrack is still completely drenched. You can see the rooster tails of spray kicking up off the back of the car, but I can promise you that the grip has improved somewhat, and that will lend to the fastest laps being run now as the conditions are again improving all of the time. And all that does for a race car driver, Jack, is that makes them a little bit more confident, a little bit more eager. It can also get you into more trouble, as I think we've seen that more than a few times. Drivers overextending, hitting an extra wet patch, aquaplaning a little bit, going a little too deep. That paired with the more simplistic aerodynamics, getting stuck in the wake, it's a recipe for disaster. But you can see here through Pouhon, there is standing water, but you can also see right there, see the darker line there, the drier, not dry, but drier patch of racetrack right there is exactly what I'm talking about. And now, unlike earlier, you can kind of get a little bit more aggressive on the brakes, and a little aggressive coming out of the corners here as these two continue to fight.
Oh, it's May into the back of Piper Gonzalez into the back of May. And at the end of the Lafani chicane, they're definitely getting a bit quicker. They're definitely getting a bit more aggressive. It begs the question, a thought into Curva Paul Frere, but it begs the question for race two. I don't know how the conditions will sort of pervade over an invisible amount of time. Let's say in game, hour later, is it going to be drier? Are we simulating that cars will continue to circulate the track? There might be a significantly drier circuit for race two. There might be a significantly wetter for for race 2. But
Oh, here we go.
yep, think into the bus stop. Better on the brakes. Porsches are known for good brakes. They got equal brakes, and they've almost gone equally deep.
Commentator's curse, Jack.
Possibly, maybe. I had a conversation with another commentator where I think it's unfair that commentators curse exist because there's nothing as a commentator's boon. It's only ever bad. I think it has everything to do with racing driver excuses. Heavy. Oh, couldn't have said it better.
Hey, listen. We get all the blame. We take none of the glory. But you know who may take some glory here? Wyatt Johnson on the final lap of the race. He had a second lead catching the white flag here. But David De Leon is trying their best. The gap has halved, and there they are. Look, the 27 and the 6, nose to tail, coming through Brussels this time on their way down to No Name. Oh, and it's a wide turn from Wyatt Johnson here, giving a little bit of a sniff, a look for David De Leon.
Yeah, and there's not many overtaking opportunities left in a lap. The thing with a short race at Spa, it's, on any given circuit, you have spots that you can go for a move. Spa's no exception with the length of the circuit.
Up ahead.
Oh, there is a stopped car up ahead. That's the 18 of Stefano Zanatti, who has had a bit of a tricky day, but hopefully
I think he doesn't want to run another lap, I think is what's going on here. He'll probably get out of the way, but this is going to be really close. Maybe a last-ditch effort coming down into the chicane, turn 19 and 20 for the final time. What do you think?
It's my best bet, unless a bit of a mistake maybe. But this circuit's looking drier and drier. There's certain corners that almost look like there's really no standing water. Still plenty of standing water here in Paul Frere. But if David De Leon can hold firm and get a good exit out of here, stay
that was a good exit through there.
It was a very good exit. But hopefully won't have to back off, but getting closer and closer. We'll see how they look through Blanchimont. It's going to be really difficult to follow this close. The spray has died down a bit, but a little bit of a wiggle for Wyatt Johnson. David De Leon, he's got one opportunity on the brakes. He's going to have to go the long way around. Wyatt Johnson going defensive, but up the middle of the circuit, feels confident on the brakes. They are good through the bus stop on the way out. Any lazy spins? Any crazy drama? No, sir. It's Wyatt Johnson who's going to take the